IDT. Okay. A transfer of goods and other branch located outside India is taxable. So transfer of goods from outside India. So one GST to another GST is taxable. But transfer of one goods from India to outside, it's not actually export is exempted, so not taxable. So Section 154 CGST Act, every person required to obtain separate registration for every branch located in different states or union territory shall be treated as a distinct person. So accordingly, a supply of goods to a branch outside the state would be qualified as liable to tax of Class 2 Schedule 1 of CGST Act. Further, important note that supply of goods to branch unit location within the same state having the same registration would be liable to tax since both units would be qualified for distinct person. Outside India, outside the state is taxable. Outside India is not taxable. Other gifts given by the employer to employee will qualify as supply. Less than 50,000, no. More than 50,000, taxable. Principal relationship, it's not taxable. While supply of goods by principal to its agent or agent to its principal is taxable in the absence of consideration. Yes. So section 7 of the schedule 1 following should qualify supply of goods by the principal to its agent and the agent to supply where the agent undertakes a supply or agent undertakes to receive the goods goods behalf of the principal on such a goods behalf of the principal, then it is taxable now. Qualify supply. Whether the import of service will be liable to tax under GST regime. Import of service. You're importing some service, import of service and importer in India, it is not taxable in India. If a person outside India providing service to in India and he is paying the tax, then it's a import of service consideration whether or not in course and further and service and supply. The import of service qualify as supply under GST. And the import of service by taxable person from a related person or from other establishment outside India, then course and further of persons, it is in supply. What is a composite supply? Composite supply now, it is on the principal services, other service also will be given. But the tax rate is based on the principal service, not on the other service. Okay. So it's not a bundle of thing. It's a one service can't be separated. It can't be given without that service. It is integrated with the principal service. So Section 2, Class 30 of CGST, composite supply means supply consists of two or more taxable supplies, or goods or service or both are combined thereon. They naturally bundled and supplied in the conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of business, one of which is principal supply. The illustration of composite supply appends to Section 2, Class 30 as follows. Whether a good is packed and transport with insurance and supplies of goods, packing material, transport insurance is a composite supply and the supply of goods is a composite supply. Okay. How will the tax liability be determined in the case of composite supply? The principal supply's tax rate will be given to all the rate. Section 8 of CGST Act, the tax liability in the case of composite supply will be determined based on reference to the principal supply forming of composite supply. What a mixed supply? Mixed supply is one or two or more taxable supplies are mixed together, but there is no principal relationship with it. So the highest rate of the maximum supply will be taxed on all the goods. Section 2, Class 74 of mixed supply means two or more individual supplies of goods or service in combination, therefore made in conjunction with each other to taxable person for a single price, where such supply does not constitute composite supply. This illustration mixed is supply of package consists of canned food, sweets, chocolates, cakes, dry fruits, aerated drinks, fresh juice, a single price and mixed supply. Each of the items supplied separately and only dependent on each other. This shall not be mixed supply. This shall not be, it shall not be a mixed supply if the items are supplied separately. How the tax liability is determined in the case of mixed supply? The highest rate of the taxable goods out of mixed supply on the package, which of the taxable has the highest rate, that will be given for all the goods included in the price tag, the single price tag that tracks the highest rate of tax of that bundled supply or good supply of goods. Section 8, tax supply is a mixed supply shall be ascertained reference to the particular supply which attracts the highest rate of tax. What is a taxable event under GST? When will be taxable event GST? When the service is rendered or the goods is supplied. This is the in the case of services, money is received or money is received or invoice is issued, whichever is earlier, or in the case of supply or invoice, whichever is earlier, 30 days from the date. In the case of goods, payment received, na advance would be GS, advance would be liable to advance GST. But at the same time, when the good is delivered to location or invoice raised, then also 30 days. Taxable event of goods and supply of service are both GST and CGST will be levied on the interstate supply and IGST will be on interstate supply. Taxable event. Okay. What is the tax treatment of composite supply and mixed supply under the CGST? Tax treatment. What is the tax treatment? Composite shall be treated as a supply of principal supply and mixed supply will be treated as supply of goods or service which attracts highest tax rate. Supply of goods and supply of service taxable under GST. Discuss the validity of the statement. On statement is incorrect because supply of all goods and supply of all are taxable except alcohol, liquor, human consumption. Supply of petroleum, crude oil, high speed oil, motor spirit, natural gas, and aviation fuel is a taxable as a event of the future. These dates will be notified by the government, recommended by the GST Council. Whether the transfer of title or possession is necessary for the transaction in the constitutes supply. Transfer of title or possession is necessary for the transaction to constitute the supply of goods. Supply of goods, it's not required. Transit, they should have an invoice below is enough. Giving the goods to the in transit, they will have the order, but ownership need not be transferred. Title as well as possession both has been transferred from the transaction to consider as a supply of goods. In the case title is not transferred, the transaction will be treated as supply of service in terms of schedule to 1B of CGST Act. In the case of possession may be transferred immediately, but the title may be transferred on the future date till the case of sale is approval basis or higher purchase agreement. Such a transaction shall be treated as supply of goods. Examine whether the following activity should be amount of supply under section 7 of the GST Act. The Amota Charitable Trust is a trust which attracts high treatment on needy people, though done free of cost. Donates clothes and toys to children living in the slum area. So supply is it's not a charitable register. So charitable is doesn't come like all service done by charitable is exempted. But in this case, supply is free of cost. With the notification exemption section 7 GGST Act, inter alia provided supply must be made for consideration except the activity schedule 1 and the course and furtherance of business. Since the both elements are missing, donation of clothes and toys to children would not amount to supply. Section 7 of CGST. Shulika manufacturers have a factory in Delhi and a depot in Mumbai. Both of them established or registered in the respective states. Finished goods are sent from the factory in Delhi to Mumbai depot without consideration. So the same must be sold. No inter-transfer of the from department. It's same GST within different state have different registration that is subject to tax. Schedule 1 of CGST Act interlayer stimulate that supply of goods and service of both between related parties or between distinct persons. So Section 25 supply even without consideration is provided and goes in further further whether this person who is opted obtained the required obtained registration in the state respect of the establishment as establishment of the state. Then such establishment shall be treated as establishment of distinct person. Section 25 CGST Act. In the view of the same factory and the depot of Shukalya manufactured is established two distinct persons. Therefore, supply of goods from Delhi factory to Shukalya manufactured Mumbai depot without consideration, but the course and further business is supply in Section 7. Rahman is an electronic commerce operator in Chennai. His brother, who is settled in London, is a well-known lawyer. Rahman has taken legal advice from him for free of cost with regarding to his family dispute. So it is not for the business. It is a relative. Even though relative, it is for the furtherance of business. It is taxable. For the family dispute, it is exempted. Schedule 1 of CGST Act interlates stipulates that the import of service by a person from a related person located outside India without consideration to the supply, if it is provided that the course and furtherance of business. In the given case, Raman has received legal advice from his brother free of cost. In the personal matter is not on course and furtherance of business. Hence, and service provided by the Raman brother to him would not be treated as supply. Section 7 of CGST Act. Would your answer be different in the above case? Raman has taken advice in aspect of his Mm. Would the answer be different in the above case? Raman has taken advice in respect of his business unit. Yes, it's a taxable supply. In the above case, Raman has taken advice regarding to the business unit. Service provider Raman Brothers as maybe Section 7 course and furtherance of business and receive a separate deposit as taxable. Service whether the following supply should be treated as supply of goods or service or Schedule 2 of CGST Act. Renting of immovable property. Renting of immovable property to a registered person is taxable. Renting of supply of goods, apply of service. Goods forming part of business asset is transferred or disposed by a direction of person carrying on business with or with concentration. Goods, supply of goods, transfer of rights of goods without transfer of goods, supply service. Transfer of title of goods under the agreement which stipulates property shall pass to future date. Title of goods under the agreement which stipulates the property has passed in a future date. Goods. Determine the following goods or service na higher purchase na goods is being transferred na then higher purchase goods and goods. Determine whether the following supplies amount to composite supply. Hotel provide 4 days 3 night package wherein facilitate breakfast and dinner is provided along with the room accommodation. Composite supply it is not the main thing is hotel stay. It is complimentary. It is given in a single package. So single package food is also be provided. So the food is to be provided in 18 percentage of food is to be provided. Food is to be paid in 18% as composite supply. Under the composite two or more taxable supply goods and service of both and any combination therefore is naturally bundled and supplied in the conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of business. One of which is principal supply and GST in the view that since supply of breakfast and dinner accommodation in the hotel is naturally bundled. This is a composite supply. Toothpaste companies offered a scheme of free toothbrush along with the toothpaste. So toothpaste and toothbrush, these been bundled, but it can be differently taxable, yes. But it is a mixed supply at an opposite end. So it is complementary, no, it can be used separately. So at the same time, it is not naturally bundled. It doesn't qualify composite supply. Whether supply goods supplied on higher purchase basis will be treated as a supply of goods or supply of service. Higher purchase is supply of goods. Supply of goods and higher purchase will be treated as a good supply of goods as well as transfer of title abide to the future date. Um, Define the interstate supplies and intrastate supplies and interstate supply under GST law. Is it correct to say that the interstate supply attract both CGST and SGST? Intrastate supply is between within the state, but the interstate supply is between states. So it is correct to say the interstate supply attract both CGS and no. Interstate supplies only attract IGST. Intrastate supplies will attract CGST and SGST. The location of the supplier and the place of supply of goods or service on the same state is treated as intrastate supply of goods and services separately. Where the location of the supplier and the place of supply of goods and service are two different states, two different union territory or state of union territory that treated as an interstate supply of goods and services respectively. No, it is not correct to say that interstate supply attracts both CGST and SGST. Interstate supply attracts the IGST, hence IGST is then sum total of CGST and SGST. XYZ Limited has obtained a loan from a foreign bank. Okay, the company does not have any account in the foreign bank, but from whom it is taken loan, and the company does not have any account with the foreign bank for whom it has taken loan. Whether RCM liability and GST law would be discharged on regarding the import of service received in related to the loan. The loan receiving loan is exempt in GST. Okay. So in this case, any service charge paid to them, whether it is applied RCM basis, that was the question you can ask. Relevant legal provisions support also. Yes, RCM liability need to be discharged on the service when the supplies of supply of service supplied by the banking company in the case of whether the Supplier or recipient is located outside India. Is location of service provided in said service or supplied to an account holder. Otherwise, a place or supply location to the recipient. According to the given case, a place or supplies location of the recipient XYZ India. Since the supplier is outside the India, recipient of place of supply or in India, then the service qualifies as the input of service. So consider as an input state supply. So as basis you need to pay. Okay. But we need to pay the GST for the what point is the loan amount account processing fees. For that you can pay RCM basis. For the total amount you need total loan, you don't need to pay any GST. Rahim is running a consulting firm, also a fancy store registered under that same pen. Fancy store and consulting firm. Owner of the fancy store is 65 lakhs, received consultancy of 10 lakhs. In the previous year, you are required to provide the answers supporting question. His frame is eligible for composition scheme. If a person providing composition scheme out of his turnover, it's crossing 5 lakhs or 5 lakhs or 5% or 10% of total turnover, 65 lakhs, 6.5 lakhs crossed. So composition not eligible. Whether it's possible frame to offer composition scheme only for fancy store. Fancy store allowed, it's turnover of fancy store. Yes, yeah, you can opt for it. Its frame is running a restaurant or turnover of 65 lakhs instead of consultancy firm as well as fancy store. Whether they're eligible for the composition scheme. Composition scheme, yes, he is eligible. Frame is running consulting firm and the fancy store. He is applied professional service. Other than the salary, it's not eligible for the person service. Okay, the Prime is running a restaurant in turnover 65 lakh instead of consulting firm. So eligible composition 5%. Mrs. John T. Indy is a manufacturer of heavy machine which is stored in Jaipur. Supplied one machine to MS Dhanuksha Limited in Udaipur, 5 January 2024 under the invoice of the same date. Using the information given below, compute the value of the machine under the GST payable. Also, assume the CGSS rate and basic rate of machine excluding 28 lakhs. It is all 9%. Okay. From Rajasthan is payable. So CGS is trade discount 3,000 basic price 80,000. So quality. Secondary packing and charges for safe transportation of machinery could by a 30% added. Design and engineering process 30 added. Tax level with the municipal authority and the sale of machine subtracted. And subsidy received by the machine supplier from the state government encourage subtracted. Pre-delivery inspection charges to independent agency into an independent agency terms of agreement of supply. The amount is paid by the next show. It is not the supply, so it's only the interest amount paid by Mrs. Dhanuksha for delay of the payment should be added. Inward supplies is IGST paid for food consumption of employees. Okay, okay. And CGST, SGST paid for the electronic transfer using the manufacturers. Can add. Okay, IGST, okay. So Mrs. John India has no input tax credit balance in beginning of February on the condition necessary availing the eligible input tax. Therefore, no other transactions apply during the month. John T. Limited and Dangshaw is no 80%. Okay. Basic price add. Secondary package 30,000 at 20. Yeah, correct. Say discount culture law. Okay. Now design packing 90,000 at 20. Yeah, correct. Then tax levy authority 25,000 at 20. Okay. Why? Okay, that's what happening. Okay. Okay. Pre-delivery instruction 20,000. Interest வந்து include 1.8 include of GST so happened. So discount to 28 lakhs minus 3% போட்டோம்னா 29 lakhs. இதில் நீ எது ஆட் பண்ணல ப்ரீ டெலிவரி ஆட் பண்ணி வச்சு சப்சிடி வந்து கிடைக்குது. Subsidy include GST. So taxable value is 269. Fee is 9%, 9%. Less input tax 15,000, 15,000. And as per the schedule 15 to CGST Act, all incident expenses, including packing charges of supplies to the recipient, are included in the actual correct. All amount charge anything done by the supplier in respect of the supply of goods at time before delivery is included in the value of goods. Okay. Any tax levied under any law of time being in force other than CGST is charged separately by supplier are included in the value of supply. Okay. Any amount of supply is liable to pay in relation to the any amount of supplier is liable to pay in relation to the supply, but in the general way incurred by the recipient. Supply are included in the price actually paid or payable by the goods or service includable as a supply. Okay. Interest and delay of payment of consideration of the supply included in the value. For the assume that the interest is inclusive of tax and the same has been received from the January India in the month of February itself. Therefore, time of supply and the interest will be in and same will be considered as a paying tax. Subsidy directly linked to the price excluding the subsidy provided by the central government, state government are included in the value of supply. Since in given case subsidies received from the state government, the same has not been included in the value of supply. Presume it is directly linked to the price. சப்சிடி வந்து அவனுக்கு வரும் நமக்கு வராது நம்மகிட்ட மிஷின் வாங்கும்போது நம்மகிட்ட ஃபுல் பேமெண்ட் வாங்கி ஆகணும் அவனுக்கு நம்ம இதுக்கு பார்க்கணும் ஸோ தட்ஸ் நாட் கன்செப்ட் rate discount has been shown the invoice hence the same is excluded from the value of terms section 15(3) of CGST Act ITC and the food and beverages first இது IGST சார்ஜ் பண்ணாங்க இங்க CGST சார்ஜ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க கொஞ்சம் the ITC and the food and beverages specifically reserved unless the same has been made outward supply and same category as the element of taxable composite of mixed supply. Hence, since transformers are used in course of furtherance of business, ITC therefore is available in terms. In the above answer, it has been assumed that the basic price of the machine has been arrived at after adjusting the subsidy and the basic price has been price charged from the consumer. It has been assumed that food items are provided free of cost to the employees in course of employment. Consequent subsidy received from the state government has not been reduced in basic price of mission while arriving at taxable value. However, it is not. It's also possible to assume the subsidy had not been adjusted in the basic price and the price will be charged from the consumer. So after excluding subsidy, in the case of total value is Hearable and Sons. Hearable and Sons registered in Karnataka has opted to avail benefit of composition scheme. It is furnished the following details of tax period of 30th June 2023. The taxable turnover of the goods is 15 lakhs, exempted turnover 17 lakhs, total turnover 8 lakhs. Using the information calculated, the total GS need to be bifurcated and CGS to be paid in the case. Production traders. Answer D and E only, both is not need not to be answered. Okay. Compute the amount of tax payable by composition scheme. Composition scheme na taxable value la composition scheme 5%, 1% of the total turnover. So 32 lakhs na 32 lakhs of tax paid is 1% is turnover of the CGST is 32 lakhs, 15 lakhs, or 17 lakhs. Exempt turnover 1%. Okay, taxable and exempted. ரெண்டுத்தையும் ஆட் பண்ணி போடணும். Okay.